Hey guys, it's Paul and Ray with the No Color Thick Skin podcast. Today, we are so excited to be with you. We want to remind you today to click that follow button, that heart button on Spotify. Please follow us, subscribe on YouTube, hit the like button if you could. We are really trying to grow our audience and reach more people and have this conversation with more people. And we'd love for you to join us and be a part of that group. So if you could share us to your social media, to your on whatever your favorite YouTube episode is, or Spotify. We got lots of listeners on Spotify and YouTube. We're on all major podcast applications. So give us a like and a follow and share stuff if you really like it. So thank you so much. We're going to get into episode 6. What do you think, Ray?
Episode 6. Wow. We've done this 6 times already, man.
6 times.
Wow. It's pretty nice, man. Episode 6.
Yeah.
Nice deal, man. It's been an honor, man. It's been a privilege to be able to sit here and, be with you in this space. So thank you, man.
Same.
For real. Like, just thank you for, like I say, always being as vulnerable as you are, and just bringing the energy that you bring and the perspective that you bring, man. Like, it's real appreciative. So thank you, man.
Same here, buddy. Yeah.
Thanks,
thank you for hopping on. I know for us to be able to do this, guys, it takes a little bit of vulnerability, but it also is kind of risky, putting our thoughts and opinions out there.
Yeah, big time.
So, but speaking of that, Ray, how was your week?
Yeah, man, it's been a week, as we say, we have thick skin. So if we're going to be, the No Color Thick Skin podcast, then I'm always about showing the good, but I also know that being able to be vulnerable in certain times and being able to share certain things that may not be as great can be therapeutic for myself, but it can also give something to someone else as well. So I will say, the past week hasn't been just the greatest of weeks for me personally. Just a few things have happened, just some illnesses in my family that are happening right now, some family adjacent, some family in my daughter's side passed away. So we're kind of dealing with that, and just trying to take that, thanks, man, and just trying to take that, one day at a time. I've shared a few things with you, and so it's been a struggle going through the mist like that. But I do know that trouble doesn't last always, and you have to get up and keep moving and keep doing the things that you can do to control the situation that you're in. I shared with something very personal with you as well. I'm not going to go too deep into it, and I will at some point in time, but there was some disappointment that took place that I shared with you. And like I said, I don't want to talk about it too much, but I do want to just share with people that, there are 2 ways that you can go about disappointment. You can sulk in it, and you can allow that disappointing time to put you in a negative place to where you can regress, and you can lead with negativity and just all of the goodwill that you've put in with people and with building yourself back up to wherever you were can be thrown away because a certain situation didn't go the way that you didn't think that it didn't go the way you wanted to go.
100%.
And it can hurt. It can hurt. And I understand if you do that. But for me, I am what I like to call a solutions-based person. Mm-hmm. That's why, just for me, certain therapy things aren't good for me. But with me being solution-based and going through the disappointment that I went through, I just told myself that I'm going harder. And I have to get to a point to where it is just undeniable. Point blank, period. That's it. Was I upset when that happened? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Are there some garden tools that I like to call? Are there some garden tools out there? Some individuals who I like to classify as garden tools who feel a certain type of way? That's cool.
Yeah.
You do you. But for me, I'm just going to go harder, and I'll do more. I'll continue to strive to be as great as I can be. But if anyone out there, if you have faced some disappointment in the past that just has you in a position where you're just down and out, or if in some point in time you will face some disappointment, just remember these two things. You can either take it and go that negative route, or just look yourself in the mirror, tell yourself, hey, it didn't go the way we wanted it to go, but make yourself undeniable so that when it comes back around, no questions asked, you would get what it is that you rightfully deserve. So
100%.
Yeah, man. So like I said, that was a tough moment, a tough time, but we are on the path and striving to, right that wrong that happened. So
That's very cool.
Yeah,
very
man.
cool.
So that was my week, man. What about yourself, Paul? How's things been going in Paul's world?
Oh, my week has been busy, and I feel like I say that every week. But just
You're a busy man. You're a busy man. You're a busy guy.
Yeah. 3 kids, and I'm super blessed to have the job that I've got and the people that I have in my life. And hey, here's one thing that maybe I'm sure there's something that I could strive for as far as awards go, but there is no award for what I do. There really is not. So I manage a store. Like I've said before, it's a store out in the middle of nowhere, and we do a lot of cool things, have a lot of cool customers because we're out in the middle of nowhere. There's a whole gambit of different people that come there, and really the biggest award that I get is my customers coming to me to tell me that we've got the best this or the best that, or I really appreciate, the things that you do. And that's really what means the most to me in general. Of course, everybody likes being recognized for, doing an outstanding job, but really who it matters to me the most is the people that are the community that I serve.
Absolutely.
And so that's something that I do get to partake in. But my wife is super busy at work. Right now, and with our economy the way it is and the jobs the way they are, I hate to be one of these people to say this, but people just don't want to work right now. It seems like
don't hate it. Just it's the truth, man. Just speak the truth.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I would love to not have to work, but honestly, I don't think that if I just suddenly didn't have to work right now, I don't feel like I'd be that accomplished. I mean, it would be like if I won the lottery, I don't know if it would feel that good. I mean, at first it'd be like awesome, but then I get to hear about a lot of people that retire out where I work.
Yeah,
and they're like, man, I don't feel like I'm doing anything anymore, Yeah,
that sense of purpose.
Yeah,
that they had with work and that structure that they had. Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, but life is good. Kids are healthy, and they're getting older and bigger, and everybody's having birthdays. It seems like
amazing,
so.
Right?
Man,
it's just amazing. It's amazing.
Wow. Anyway, so this week we had some pretty crazy stuff going on.
Wild week, man.
Y'all have probably seen
Wild
this.
Week, man. Wild week.
Yeah.
Sure.
So if you listen to any news at all, you know that there's a CNN and a Fox. You'd have to literally live under a rock to not know these two people, Don Lemon,
Donnie Dunn. Oh yeah,
and Tucker Carlson.
Oh yeah.
Both. We don't have officially that Tucker Carlson was let go, but people are assuming that both, even though they work for different, stations, they both got let go possibly. For sure, Don Lemon did.
What did they come to an agreement, or they're no longer on the team. We can say that.
Sorry, you're no longer here.
If you, I think sometimes they'll tell an athlete like you can either retire, if you can, or just we're going to cut you, but you're just not on the team anymore.
Yeah, sorry, buddy.
Yeah, those two guys aren't with their respected affiliated groups anymore, man. And it caught a lot of people off guard, and it caught a lot of people off guard also with both happening on the same day. That was something that was alarming, and that threw a lot of people off as well. But yeah, those are two big time figures that are that were let go. Man, that was caught me off guard.
That's pretty crazy. It kind of reminds me, especially the Don Lemon side of things, is when Piers Morgan basically got let go.
Yeah.
I think he got let go. I'm pretty sure. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like, wow, he was kind of a superpower, and they're in the, I think he was with CNN or MSNBC. I can't remember. Anyhow, but it's kind of reminiscent of that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Somebody that is constantly kind of like calling people out, and
a larger name in media who had
large name in media,
pretty big following, and but one thing I guess you can look at this and see that no matter what you do or who you are, no one is bigger than the team. I mean, that no one is bigger than the team, and there are rumors, and there are things that are floating around as far as the type of person, I guess, that Don Lemon was to certain co-hosts and to certain women, I guess, in the organization, and things that he did years ago that people are finding out with like a burner phone and talking pretty spicy to this one young lady who got a job, and the way he would take over certain interviews or certain projects and would call certain people out. I guess not a pleasant person to be around, and caused a lot of friction there. And then also you look on the other side with Tucker Carlson, and the whole thing with like the private text messages that we're seeing with he and some of the other Fox News correspondents. I guess they found out some things that they didn't want. They didn't want the upper management to know. They didn't like President Trump, and they had a lot of things that they found out through those text messages.
He's not a fan of Trump.
Not a big fan at all. And then also I know that Fox News is in they just lost a pretty big lawsuit.
Yeah. Big one.
Huge. Like hundreds of millions. And
over the Dominion voting machine.
So over that, they lost that. And when a big corporation usually is in a situation where that happens, usually something's going to happen. Somebody's going to get let go. Somebody has to be that person that has to take the brunt of that. And it looks like Tucker was that person. And there's also a rumor that some former interns or former employees are also trying to sue Tucker as well for some things that he possibly may not allegedly did. So I'm sure the organization was like, hey, nobody's bigger than the team. Somebody has to go, and we're going to let you go. They couldn't fire, Laura Ingraham. You can't fire a woman in that. And I'm not saying that to be trite or anything, but in that situation where there are allegations and things of that nature. So it's like you can't do that. So he was just the one that took the brunt of that. So.
What's interesting, also something that's going on right now is if you guys keep up with this guy, Steven Crowder.
Yeah.
He's I want to tastefully talk about this and not go too into it because doesn't involve me at all. But so two conservative correspondents, they both are very big people in the, I guess, talk show personality podcast type of industry that we've got going on now. One is Louder with Crowder, Steven Crowder, and then the other one is Candace Owens. She's with the Daily Wire.
Daily Wire. Daily Wire.
With Ben Shapiro and all of them over there.
Matt Walsh and all those.
Matt Walsh, yep. So there was a disagreement that happened basically, and it just keeps like getting more and more personal. It's like, guys, just solve your disagreements not in the public eye because it's recently Stephen had to come out about, or felt like he had to come out about him and his wife getting a divorce. And that is really, really rough. And it just, between him and Steven Crowder and Candace Owens just keeps getting more and more personal. And Steven Crowder's very private about his personal life. So in that regard, like he doesn't, he's very protective of his kids and their identities and stuff like that. So anyways, yeah. So, so that's going on.
It's a lot. It's a lot, man. It is a lot. And I'm not 100%, fully aware of everything that's going on with Steven Crowder. I do know that there were some personal things that were going on, and I know about the divorce. But that's one of those unfortunate things when you put yourself out there in the public that way. That the public they'll eat your lunch. They will find out everything, and they'll put it on you real bad. So.
Yeah. Well, I think the scandal of it all is that Candace Owens and Steven Crowder considered each other friends up until a point. And then I guess Steven Crowder's podcast, Louder with Crowder, was being courted by the Daily Wire because they gave him an offer. Steven refused it and was kind of open about why. And they said, you know what, I'll just become a Daily Wire, or that level type of thing, conglomerate
do
maybe.
Thing,
yeah. And Candace Owens kind of took offense to some of the things that Steven said about the company that she works for, works with, or partners with, whatever. Anyways, and so that's how that kind of started. Anyway, long and short of it is, it's just a real shame, and we hate to see that happen to people, regardless of if you think they're right on everything or whatever. I definitely believe that Steven Crowder has the right intentions, and so does Candace Owens. Their intentions are good, mostly. I feel like they are. They might go about things in a way that I definitely wouldn't go about them, but with some things. Yeah. And in some ways, they have a lot more courage than I do when it comes to certain issues. So anyway, they are who they are, and wow, that's going on right now. So all of that being said, current events and all that stuff, episode 6, man. Yes. Episode 6.
Yes, sir.
So today, guys, we're going to be talking about all that is transgender. And we realize that neither of us are transgender people, but we can have opinions about this. It's okay. And we're going to talk through some things just because they involve us. And we're not here trying to tell people what to do with their lives or whatnot. We're just going to talk through some things, right?
For sure. And that's one of I like how you said, hey, we're just here to talk, and no, we're not transgender. Like, we're not, and we aren't people who lead with hate or who have hate in our hearts. We're not 100%. We're not those people. But it does irk me when people are like, oh, you're not this, so you can't speak about that, or you're not that, you can't talk about this. It's like, well, you're not a chef, so that means you can't critique a meal that you eat because you didn't cook the meal, or you're not this chef who's been cooking for so long, or you're not a landscape person who does great work in the yard and all that, so you can't critique a lawn. Like, what are we doing here? Like, why is it that if you're not of this, you can't speak of that? Anyone should be able to speak about anything that they choose to speak about. Respectfully. We would hope that that happens respectfully and with class and with some dignity. And your opinion is your opinion. So if our opinion varies from the opinion that you have, or the opinion that your family may have, or that your children may have, or whoever, those are just our opinions, and those are you all's opinions, and that's fine. We're just wanting to have, just like we always say, just an open and direct, honest conversation.
Yeah. I agree. And also, like I said, the only reason why I mean, we can talk about whatever we want to talk about, just so you know. Freedom of speech, guys.
100%.
And we both have open minds. We both have thoughts going through our heads. We got opinions about stuff. And so we're going to talk about it. Also, a lot of this stuff involves us, man. You know why? Because we have kids. We have lives that are impacted by the choices made by society, and especially if it involves the government.
Yeah.
And especially if it involves using a public restroom or things like that. So we're going to get into it, guys.
Yeah.
So in general, most of the people that are transgender that I have come in contact with in my life personally, they are not that at all. They are a person that feels like they are more comfortable experiencing life as a different sex or a different gender or whatever you want to call it. I believe that that person is who they were born, and there is no getting away from that fully. And I feel like, personally, this is my opinion, just from the outset, I feel like people that are born a male or female, the sooner they come to terms with that fact that they will never ever be, a biological other opposite sex that they were born, the sooner that they can come to terms with how they deal with life. And the thing is, you can do all, I believe personally that you can change your body into whatever you want. I would prefer that you not. I would just love to be you and you to find somebody that you love to love you for you. And I also believe that there is a person of the opposite gender in the world that will love you for you. I 100% believe that. I'm just saying that from the outside. I know that might be a strong, weird thing to say. But and I hope you don't think that's offensive, guys, but that's what I believe. That being said, I don't want to impress any of my opinions onto somebody that believes that way. In my household, I would like for my kids to be open with me about how they feel about themselves, about other people, how they love other people. And really that's, in a lot of ways, what we're talking about is somebody's like sexual identity. But that's how I feel about it. I really feel like I wish that people felt comfortable in their own skin. I wish that people felt, if you want to have long hair, have long hair. If you want to be pretty like a girl and you're a boy, do that. Do that. Yeah. But I do believe that, if you're being true to yourself, it is you being your natural self. That is very, very, very healthy for your psyche and for your body, really. And that's my thought from the onset.
Man, I'll tell you, we have a lot of similar thoughts and beliefs on things. And you said something, once someone comes to the understanding of, hey, I was born this and this is what I am, and they can go ahead and go through life knowing that I'm not going to be XYZ what I want to be, but I will be this, but I can live my life how it is I want to live. I'll tell you, and I'll just say it right now, I am so confused by, I guess, where we are with all of this just in the world itself. And that isn't for me to say that I am upset or I'm angry or mad or that I'm vitriol or anything like that. I just don't know how to look at certain things, because there's a new something popping up almost every other day that's changing the way this was stated yesterday versus, oh, well, you should use this terminology or you should use that. But I guess if we take it, at the core and say that if someone is born and they're, like you said, they're born either a male or a boy or however we supposed to say that, or girl, or whatever chromosomes that they have, and that person grows up feeling that they're not that individual, there's just so much, I guess, to take on and deal with that. And for that person, like my heart goes out to that person who does not feel, I guess, their full self. So from a compassion standpoint, I strongly hate that there are people in this world who feel like I can't even be myself. I'm not myself. Yeah. I'm not this. So I completely understand that. And then it gets to a point to where it's like, well, if I'm being told that genders are not that's like social construct and this and that, and like you shouldn't be identified by this, but you're wanting to have a surgical procedure to have, I guess, the portion of that's you want to have those parts of that one that you feel that you are supposed to be. Then if that doesn't matter, then then you shouldn't want to do the surgery. And like I said, I get so confused and so wrapped up in so much that's going on that
right.
It's just so much to take on, man. But it's, as you said, like as parents and raising kids and wanting our kids to lead with love and have understanding of everyone, we want that for sure.
Yep.
But it just gets to a point to where it's like, all right, well, what are we doing? And what is it that everyone needs? Because we all know that everyone needs just to be treated with the golden rule. Treat everybody as the way you want to be treated. Point blank, period. That's it. And that's where I am. I'm just trying to treat people right. I never want to be, like I said, disrespectful or make anyone feel uncomfortable. But
yep.
Lines have to be, I guess, placed in certain areas, and there has to be respect on both sides.
100%.
And tolerance on both sides.
Yeah. Yeah. I've got, if you've ever worked at any warehouse job or, place where there's just a ton of employees, you will probably, come in contact with someone that is transgender. Mm-hmm. And especially if you work kind of in oddball hours, for some reason, sometimes people, I say for some reason, people that do consider themselves transgender, or they're going through some kind of reassignment, trans, that they sometimes tend to work odd hours, like late at night or something like that. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Maybe that's just been my experience, but I did that for a while when I worked for Amazon, and I actually came in contact with more than a few, and it's an interesting perspective on life. I didn't really. A lot of these people, in my experience, kept to themselves. Mm-hmm. And, the strange thing that I personally experienced was that a person that was female used my bathroom, used the men's bathroom. And I didn't know how to feel about it. But at the same time, I really don't care that much.
Yeah.
Because most of the time I'm going to the bathroom in a stall. So if I have the choice, I'm going to use a stall over a urinal probably.
Yeah.
But anyways, I think a woman would probably care a little bit more, maybe, because they're very, but every woman's thing is, every woman's bathroom has all stalls. So
everything. Yeah.
I don't know. But anyways, we've got a few different topics here that we'd like to kind of discuss. And it kind of leads me into the reason why it involves me. Why would I want to have, a lot of people that I've seen on the internet and, the news and whatnot say, well, why do you have an opinion about this. You know, I hear it a lot. Like, you can't talk about this because you're not da 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 da.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, this is me talking about this because I can, also because it does directly involve me in some ways. And number one, I think Canada and probably a few other countries. I can't remember the other countries off the top of my head, but at least Canada I know has what I would call compelled speech laws, where you have to call somebody by their preferred pronoun. Otherwise, you will get forcibly punished for it.
Yeah.
And you can get fined. I guess you can get jailed or something, probably, if it gets bad enough or whatever. I don't know. And that's one of the reasons why Jordan Peterson came on the scene in the first place, was because he's actually a really smart guy, seems like. But he was college professor, and one of his students basically told him that he has to call his student by the pronoun, otherwise he's going to get in trouble. And he's like, no, that's not how we go about this. I'll be respectful, in the way that I'd like to be respectful,
Yeah.
but you're not going to tell me how to do this.
You can't force me to say something. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't force me to do that.
Yeah, you can't dictate what it is that I say.
And he
slippery slope.
And he went in front of the I don't know what they call it, their tribunal or whatever they call it over there, in front of their government over in Canada, and he talked to all their ministers of whatever,
Prime Minister and all those folk, and
and he's talking to them about why it's not okay for the government to make a person call somebody else something, especially when it's not like, if it's not, super, in my opinion, if it's not super obvious, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I mean, you can,
I see what you're saying. Yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's just the same thing as like, I hate to bring it back to like something having to do with racism or something like that, but you can't go around telling people that they can't think the way that they want to think. You just can't. You can't change somebody's mind.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to think whatever they think. So if they don't like black people, they don't like black people. That's just how it is. There's going to be racist people out there. But, we'd hope to have conversations with them and stuff like that and try to change their mind about that kind of thing. But you just can't un-racist people. You can't bend somebody's mind to your will. That is definitely that book, George Orwell's 1984.
Yeah.
That is it's so crazy how it's becoming a reality in some places.
So many
that's one way it directly involves me, is that I will not be made to call somebody by something that I, don't want to call them.
Yeah.
Sure. So there's that, but that goes into other things too, because that's just where it starts. But also, so like my kids are in sports. Transgenders in sports is kind of if you believe in competition, if you believe in challenging a certain class of competitors, and making it kind of all fair, and the way, all things fair, you get people in a certain grade, and they're all about the same size. You might have, some that are bigger than others, but that's just kind of how it goes when you have some, you bracket them by age, you bracket them by certain things, because you want the sport to be competitive.
Yes. Yeah.
That's kind of the whole idea behind sports. And, we've seen with people like Leah Thomas and some other, there's a bunch of other transgender athletes that, some sports are a little bit less power driven, I guess, maybe. I don't know. You'd have to let me know, guys. But I know that there's a lot of transgender. There's more than I thought there were transgender athletes out there in the world. And Leah Thomas just happens to be most recent, one of the most recent ones, but there's a lot of powerlifting transgenders. There's a lot of marathon runner transgenders, or a few, and they're shattering women's records, like beating them by 10% or more, which is a huge margin.
Yeah, and more. Yeah, it's a lot.
And when you're talking about weight lifted, there's some really strong ladies out there that could probably, deadlift more than I could. But we've got men going into their class, the women's division, and they're just shattering records.
Man.
And it's we kind of saw that.
And it's so disheartening. And I know that we want to say that it's a slippery slope with, well, should they or should they not? But I think it's to the point to where we should, certain things just, I guess common sense, you should be able to feel there's certain things, I guess, when I'm just going through the day and I can just feel something is right or wrong. I just feel it. I don't know if that's with everybody, but it's like you have a feeling of, okay, this is right. Okay, this is wrong. If I'm looking at an event that's about to take place and I see that there's someone who was born a female that's 5'9", I see someone else who was born a female that's 5'9", I see someone who's born a female that's 5'6", and I see a 5'2", and then all of a sudden I see someone that's 6'3", that was not born a female, and they're competing in this event, and I'm just like, something just isn't looking right here. And this individual, you say, was not born a female, but we're allowing this person to go, oh, and wow, this person won, just blew all the records out of the way. But that's okay because this person feels, or this person states that they are of the opposite sex, or they are a female at this moment in time. And it's like, how are we allowing this to happen? And we hear so much about, women empowerment, empowering women, make sure that women are at the forefront of, sports with the WNBA, and getting women, sports up, and giving women their just due when it comes to, just accelerating in their career paths. And it's like, well, are we really wanting, it's like you can't have it both ways, to where we want to champion women, which I love women, maybe too much, but I love women. Women are beautiful. I love my mother. I love my sister. I love my aunts. I love women. The women who gave me my children, I love them, and I'm appreciative of them. I have a reverence for women. I'm an old school guy. I still hold doors. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. I'm just that with women. For just me, that's just internally who I am. I feel good to do that. I'm not made to do that. That's just how I feel. So I have a reverence for women, and when I see that there are individuals who are coming in, and it's almost as if at a moment in time, women are going to be erased. There's going to be an erase of women because the trans women will come and they will either elevate or go and reach these certain things physically and take away from what it is, the greatness is that we want to give to women. So it's like I said, it's like how it's tough to try to have both sides with it. Like I said, we're trying to lead with love here, but we also have to get to a point to where it's like, hey guys, like what are we really doing here? What are we doing?
Yeah,
here?
what's the point? Exactly.
What are we doing?
Yeah, so I mean, when you look at things from an individual level, it's like, yeah, I get it. You want to compete in a sport where you didn't feel like you were connected to the guys, or on the guys' perspective.
Yeah.
You identify as a woman, and I feel for you. I really do. And maybe we need to have a specific division that just allows for that, and mixed teams or something like that. Yeah, absolutely.
That is a great. That's something solution based. It's like we don't want to shun you all. We don't want to throw you away. We don't want to lock y'all in the basement. No, but like, let's get something to where you can compete, you can excel, you can be great at what it is that you do, but you are doing that in this category here that is your wonderful, beautiful, sponsored category that is yours.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have your amazing, wonderful category. That's your category.
Right. And,
that's a solution-based type of a thing.
Also, two other things. But the first being sports is kind of like the two political parties. You have men's and you have women's. You have the right and then you have the left. Like, and all the in-between people are just, doing their own smaller leagues. Mm-hmm. They're doing, and they have their own competitions inside of those. It's just like, with football, you have your Eastern stuff and you got your Western. I'm totally talking out of my butt. I don't know anything about
NFC, AFC, basketball. You got the Eastern Conference, Western Conference.
Right.
Conferences are broken
different
up.
Conferences. Yep. Yeah. And, I mean, it's just what it is, people in regards to sports, I'll move on. People want the ability to compete with people that are similarly blessed or skilled or talented, and all of their, it's just the same in my opinion, it's just the same thing as, the different classes of racing with cars. You have a very specific type of engine that you can use, mm-hmm. and the body's got to look a certain way, and it's got a certain chassis, certain type of wheels and tires, and you can only have a certain amount of horsepower. That's what we're looking for with this, and I get that they want to compete, totally get it, just not, there's, by allowing especially transgender men into these sports, a lot of times in just the whatever divisions that currently exist, there's a lot of women and girls, even young girls, that are going to be, fall by the wayside and may even get discouraged from playing sports because they're always going to lose to that. And it's not currently happening in everything.
Not in everything, for sure. We're just
but this is what this is what it could lead to. This is a topic of discussion
I guess also to say it this way, if a transgender female, I guess a transgender woman who was born, that's a biological male, if we're seeing these people compete against women and we're not seeing transgender men who are biological women coming into men's sports and dominating and excelling at those rates, then does that not look strange to where, if we're not seeing a lot of, transgender men come into the men's division of weightlifting and they're not shattering records and they're not even placing or, putting out the numbers or doing what the men are doing, how are we not able to look at that and see that, hey, that's a little right? That's a little different. Like, that's why can we not see those patterns? And like I said, it's a tough balance for sure. I get it, but man, it's just I'm just at a loss. Like I said, I'm at a loss, Paul.
It's with the examples that we've seen transgender men in women's MMA. We've seen transgender men in swimming. We've seen transgender men in tennis. We've seen transgender men in wrestling.
Transgender women, you mean? Because the woman.
Maybe that's what I mean to say. Yeah. So a man that's transitioned to be a woman.
To a woman. Yes. Yeah.
Transgender women.
We've seen all of those things. We've seen all of those.
Yeah. So we've seen examples.
Don't really see that other side of it, and it's like, why can we not just use common sense to see, wow, if it's working this way and it's shattering records and everybody's fine with it, but if we go to the other side, we're not seeing anyone dominate at all.
Right.
It's a little different. So.
Right.
But like I said, that's the sports. So yeah.
Yeah. So that's sports. And then when it comes to, there's a lot of topics we could get into with this, talking about transgender. I guess the big thing is, to me, the things where it involves me the most is where I feel like like I haven't really personally had to deal with, like I haven't had to experience anything with any of these, people that are transgender, much of anything, other than the bathroom thing. But I've experienced, people as customers, in that fashion. And, I'm always one of those, if it doesn't involve me, I kind of just stick to my own thing. I don't really, and maybe that's a Texas thing. I don't know, but, I just try not to get involved unless I have to with other people's stuff, unless I'm like trying to be nice or something like that. Yeah. I just kind of stick to my own thing, but when it comes to, having, especially talking about kids, kids are in sports. Kids are also, one of my kids is getting to the age where she's, going to be going through puberty. And I got to think about these things like, okay, so, if my kid has, certain thoughts or whatnot, I don't want them to go through some kind of, hormones or, stuff like that. That's not, in my view. And as I've gotten older, I'm, like we said in a previous episode, we're both mid-30s guys. And as you get older, you realize how much hormones affects you. Mm-hmm. The natural ways to better produce those hormones, and especially as a dude. Yeah. And so for me personally, I've been doing a lot of learning of how to naturally produce more testosterone. As a man goes on in life, you just produce less and less testosterone. Mm-hmm. And, most men become less active as they get older just because of life, whatever. So you got kind of like candles burning at both ends. You're becoming less and less active and you're getting older. So it's like you get less and less testosterone. Mm-hmm. So in general, supplementation of hormones is very controversial. Mm-hmm. There's lots of people that their bodies have become unhealthy because they have taken too much hormone, of whether it's, a female taking, actually the older females tend to take, especially if they've gone through menopause, tend to take testosterone to keep them healthy. Yeah, that helps. Yeah. And as a therapy. And also men do it so that they can have more testosterone going through them, and they don't have a bunch of muscle loss. They don't, they're not achy, they're not slow, they're not sluggish, things like that. Still thriving, still able to. But all of that being said, it's still pretty dangerous. Mm-hmm. It's like, this is a thing that's prescribed. Like you go and you get shots, you get, however you need to take it, you're monitored. You really want to monitor it closely because, it can raise your blood pressure. It can really do some pretty dangerous heart stuff to you if you're not careful. And
if you're at risk of cancer and different things, it can actually accelerate the growth of some of those cells as well. So that's why that lab work is super important, to make sure that you're following up on your lab work and all that as well. So it's a lot.
And that being said, I am definitely not for kids going through any kind of hormones especially at a moment. If you think about it, there's all these studies about kids like, doing drugs before they're a certain age, or doing, especially like marijuana. It's really not good for a developing person to do marijuana. And there's lots of studies saying that it really needs to be after the age of 18 for most people. And same thing goes with like alcohol and, even down to like working out really hard. You really don't want to work out really hard until you're a certain age. Make sure all your growth plates are done developing and all that stuff. That way your bones have an opportunity to develop the way they're supposed to develop, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
The people that say, taking a kid taking a hormone to pause their, genetic process of going through puberty, halting the process of puberty, in my view, and in lots of research documents, is pretty dangerous for a kid. And I sure don't want my kid secretively being able to go have that done. Number one, and number two, I really disagree with the use of that. But if it's going to be my kid, definitely no.
Yeah. So I think there are two things that we can hit on with that, and we can have our opinions of, hey, like we don't think that it's a good idea for children to take these hormones or these these estrogen blockers or the different type of medications that they give kids.
Yep.
That can be our opinion, but at the same time, two things can be true. That's not my child. That child that lives in that household with that family has no bearing on me, my household, if it is being supplemented by that household. If that's something that household is taking care of, something that they want to do, I may not agree with it. That's my opinion, and that's how I feel. But if that child is coming home to that family, to that safe space that they call their safe space, and has tried to harm themselves a few times already, and they're at that breaking point to where they're about to harm themselves for the last time, as a parent, that parent may be at the point to where they're like, I just want my child to be here. And from that standpoint, like, I get it. Like I said, I may not agree with it. I may not understand it fully. I may not champion that. But for that to be happening in your household, like I said, that's your house, that's your household, that's what it is that you all want to do for your child. Mm-hmm. I get it. Like I said, I can't step into that realm and tell a family what they can and or should or shouldn't do with their child at that time. So yeah, that's one thing on my end. Like I said, when it comes to, I guess, the hormones. And something else that I heard and that I read was that a lot of times, and this is pure vanity, all right? Like, a lot of times, families or the child or people will recommend that the child starts to take the hormones at an earlier age, so that, and like I said, that's vanity, so that they can actually have the looks of that transitioning that they want to have. So let's say a boy who's born a boy wants to be a girl.
Yeah.
If they can get the hormones in early, they would aesthetically look more feminine than they would if they took them later. Like I said, that's just from an aesthetic standpoint. That's a vanity standpoint that I've read. Some doctors and researchers say that was one of the reasons that they championed that on their end for wanting the kids to take that. Like I said, that's just pure vanity and all of that. Like I said, I'm not a person to champion that, but that's another, just one of those paths that they choose to go down for promoting the hormones,
right,
at an early age.
So I'm kind of caught in the middle, because I am very much so like a I'm not the do what thou will type guy, but I definitely, I don't want somebody else to feel like I'm making it impossible for them to make an adult decision, but at the same time, we put these checks and balances in place to where, like, kids they're not allowed to get a tattoo until they're a certain age. Mm-hmm. They're not allowed to In states where it's legal to smoke weed until a certain age, they're not allowed to drink alcohol until a certain age. Here in Texas, you can't smoke until you're 21 now, and you can't drink until you're 21.
Yeah.
So, and part of the reason why is because you're just not developed enough to. I mean, the statistics show for themselves, and unfortunately, in my view, and also the research that I've done into hormone therapy in general, but also the chemicals that people can take to pause puberty and things like that, puberty blockers. It's more permanent than people think, unfortunately. And when people make the decision to do those hormone blockers or things like that, unfortunately, it does become more of a permanent thing. And when, just from what I've seen personally on YouTube and places like that, females that take, are taking enough testosterone to start developing, characteristics of a male, a lot of those things are irreversible. They have a deeper voice. They start to grow facial hair. They start to bald, and things like that. None of the other things happen, but I mean, you might grow a little bit more muscle on you or something like that. But, it's just, I'm not sure that the data shows that it's not a permanent decision. It's not like, oh, well, if they want to change, I've heard a lot of people through the news and, quote unquote experts say, well, it's totally reversible. You can just totally change, from this to that.
I don't.
And it's like, I'm not sure. And where it really gets to me is when I have to pay for it. If I have to pay, whether it's a kid or an adult, for any kind of, hormone therapy for the specific use of, halting, puberty or even gender reassignment surgery, I don't believe that is my responsibility to pay that. And what I mean by that is like when we say that the government will pay for that or our healthcare will pay for that, that in my view, that is drawing, that's too far over the line.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. And, it is what it is. And we kind of changed our topics today. We were going to, this being something so, new and very prevalent on the news and things like that. We felt because of, Budweiser, they got a new spokeswoman, that is a transgender woman. That has really impacted, Budweiser sales, and Anheuser-Busch has really seen that kind of reflect in their numbers. And really everybody can see that. You can go to Google and you can see, they're publicly traded. So, you can see their sales and their revenue and things like that. Anyway, a lot of people said they had a really big problem with a transgender person being the spokesperson for their beer. And so in my view, all that says to me is that, people don't want that to be there to represent them. They don't want, and also I think they felt people that do drink Bud Light, which I've drank Bud Light plenty of times. I have plenty of buddies that drink Bud Light on a regular basis. They were pretty confused why Bud Light would do that, and it's one of those things where it's like, okay, well, that doesn't represent me at all. Matter of fact, it kind of makes me upset, makes me mad. Not me personally, but just a lot of people that I've talked to.
People were saying and as you're having conversations with. But my thing is, it's not just Bud Light. So if you look into, I saw a few videos where I know the the one everybody talks about, you got Kid Rock shooting stuff, and then other people throwing stuff under the truck and pouring out beer. And I saw a couple of people like, well, I'm going to Sam Adams, or I'm going to go start drinking Coors Light. I'm going to go start drinking here. And all of those places have something in the works or in the workings with the LGBTQ plus all the alphabets that they have. They have something with it, with those organizations or with those groups. And they've worked with, like I said, gay, lesbian groups, transgender groups, and all those things. So it's like it's not something I thought should have been I guess it took on something more than what I thought it should have taken on. Like I said, if Bud, they had this person sponsor, like I said, I don't know what that title was that they gave the spokesperson who's trans, but to say that you're not going to drink Bud Light because they have something to do with the trans community, when the beer that you say that you're going to start drinking has something to do with the transgender community, that's kind of crazy to me. That makes no sense. So, and it's like people just don't do the research. People who on that end who are just, like I said, leading with hate and just want to be mad and upset about something. That's, hey, you be mad, be upset about whatever it is that you want. But if you're going here just to go there without even knowing that these people, have made contributions to these organizations and things, it's like, well, what are you really upset about? So that's something I just didn't understand, why some people just took it.
I've got a perspective on
far.
that.
I'm all ears. I am.
So personally, my feelings aren't, it doesn't hurt me physically, or, I'm not afraid of gay or lesbian people. If somebody wants to be trans, that's up to them, Like I said, it's a little bit different if it's in my family, if it's, one of my kids or, something like that. I would probably take a pause and say, okay, well, what does this person need? Let's get their perspective. Let's talk about it, things like that.
But you're involved, father, and you are a good-hearted person to where you would entrench yourself in, you know your children.
Oh yeah, 100%.
100%.
Yeah. But I mean, as much as I can. How kids get a little bit older and they're like, "Oh, you're not cool anymore, Dad." But anyway, so that being said, there's a lot of people out there that disagree with the transgender movement by, making a gajillion different genders. So you got your pansexual and this sexual and that sexual and non-sexual or non-binary and, all that stuff. What I feel like is that you can call yourself whatever you want, but don't make me call you that, because I don't have the capacity to fully understand all that's going on. And I don't really have any reason to at all.
Yeah.
I fully believe that there is man and woman as far as sexes go. And I definitely believe that the intention of the word gender was to be synonymous with sex. And if we want to change what the word gender means, that's another topic, that's a different debate.
Yeah.
But, and words change in the English dictionary all the time. Mm-hmm. If you go to Webster's, they change meanings to words all the time. Yeah, it's pretty bizarre.
For sure.
But that being said, I definitely believe that there is man and woman. And if you want to get specific on what kind of sexuality you got, you know what? Go for it,
Yeah.
And it doesn't have anything to do with me until I try to get sexually involved with you, which I won't, because I'm married.
100%. Yeah, man. That's good. Yeah. So, and for me, I honestly I'm just going to call you by your name, Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
Hey, Mary.
Yeah.
Hey, Sue. Hey, Rick. Hey, John. Like, I'm just going to call you by your name, man. You can identify as a tadpole, man. Far out. That's awesome. Watch out for them lizards.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll keep it cool. But just that last thing that you said, when it came to the financial responsibilities
Yeah.
for if it's going to be the households or the government.
Right.
I know back in the day, like years ago, the way a lot of the transitional periods happened for people who wanted to transition. And I'm not saying that this is how it's supposed to be or I'm just giving a synopsis of how those timelines used to go. There were some counselors that were involved. You would go to certain meetings that you would talk about things. You would have people either from your friends or your family that would go with you as well. And they'll talk about your experiences and things. Then they'll talk with the doctor that was going to do it. The doctor would have you live in that life of who you wanted to transition into for a period of time. So you had to do these few steps. And if you got to all those steps to where, hey, all right, I've completed these steps. This is what I said I wanted to do. I follow these procedures and this is where we are right now. Yes, I want to do the surgery. Then the doctor would come and say, hey, okay, $30,000, you pay this $30,000 and then we will go forward with the procedure.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? You taking this in your hands. This is who you want to be. You're taking that responsibility on. Man, more power to you. You followed the steps that were in place so that you could be comfortable living in the life that you wanted to live. Man, great, awesome. Like we said, saying that, you know, we the people are responsible for what it is that you feel at that moment in time. I don't agree with that. So if you want to do what it is that you want to do to yourself, fine and dandy, do that. But that shouldn't be on us. I guess that's all I really have to say about
we shouldn't have to pay for it. I definitely believe that.
And like I said, and it's just now that, you know, we have it to a point to where, you know, a 8-year-old can wake up today and just be like, hey, man, I'm a girl. And, hey, we can find somewhere to where we can start giving you, you know, the medication to help you with doing that transition. And you are on your merry way. Just on a Wednesday. You just woke up on a Wednesday and said that this is where we were. And, that was that. I mean, I know my son thought he was a Power Ranger, you know, when he was 6, man, you know.
Yeah.
Cool, man, you can be a Power Ranger. That's awesome, man. But I mean, he was a Power Ranger at 6. So I'm not trying to conflate the two or bring down anyone who may not feel the way that they wish that they felt. Like I said, my heart goes out to you, but there should be just policies and procedures in place. There should be some accountability when it comes to how we do things recreational wise, and just have 100%. a little bit of common sense, you know, with all of that as well.
So I guess that's where it becomes. And we gotta bring this show into a close here shortly, but that is where the crux is, or where the rubber meets the road, because. You know, where I feel like the trans or LGBTQ AEIP type of community, not type of community, but that community where I believe, in my opinion, they went a little bit too far, was they like that community started conflating words with physical violence. And saying that, you know, people not having a surgery to affirm their identity was causing them to commit suicide or causing them physical harm. And I believe that that's just, personally, I believe that that's flat wrong. It is not my fault. I don't take responsibility for that at all. And I'm so sorry that you don't feel comfortable in your own skin. But I do believe that, in a way, we have all felt like that. And not to conflate a bigger issue with whatever issues I've got, but we've all walked around in some shoes. Yeah, and maybe my shoes are different than your shoes, but, you know, that's too far. That's too far in my view. Also, if you want to look like the opposite gender, like I said, okay, do that. especially if you're an adult, like you're a consenting adult, like a legal adult, do that. That's a very permanent thing to do to your body. And if that makes you feel better about yourself, it's going to be a hard road, but do it, I guess, if that's what you feel like you want to do. Mm-hmm. But if you want to do that with government dollars, we've got a problem. Mm-hmm. Because, I know plenty of people that have had plastic surgery, and it is not cheap. It is very, very, very expensive. Very. I know people that have had jaw reconstructive surgery, which involves repositioning bones and wires and a lot of the similar things that would happen in a gender reassignment surgery. Similar, quite a bit different, but similar. And that jaw surgery is $100,000 starting out. So and it's not nearly as complex in a way. So it's just a lot. It's a lot of money that's involved in that. And I totally believe, like I said from the outset, I totally believe that people are in their body for a reason. And maybe it's not super apparent at the time or whatnot. And maybe you've been dealing with feeling like your body is not the right body for years. I don't know. But I do know people that have gone through similar issues where they feel like they are not in the right body, but they did not go through with a trans surgery, and they were able to find life after that. And everybody has a different story. Everybody has a different path to walk and stuff like that. But I do believe that if there is any positive out of this, I believe that you are a beautiful and truly unique being that exists in this world to deliver a beautiful expression of who you are to the world. And the love that you can show people is so much more important than what you look like. And when you talk about the outside of a person, yeah, you might be talking about attractiveness. You might be talking about their physical characteristics, but the outside is just the outside. And I know that there's a lot of things to gender reassignment surgery and all that stuff, and looking like how you want to look. But at the end of the day, I definitely believe that you are a special, unique, beautiful being that deserves to be, heard and respected and loved. And I believe that where you feel comfortable to get that love from is up to you. And I do believe in any kind of, obviously, there are unhealthy relationships with people, with things like drugs and, inanimate objects and, healthy and unhealthy relationships there. And I do believe that there is a balance there of like, we've got, as we treat transgenderism or whatever you want to call it, being stuck in the wrong gender or the wrong sex body, I believe that people can, personally, I believe that people can come to be comfortable in their own skin, and it may take time. But I do believe that they can overcome themselves to start, be able to receive the love of just them, just being them, and not have to be something else.
To seek out to be someone or something else to get the love they think that they're missing out or that they're not getting or they can't be the person who they want to be, but because it's within them, they just have to find it, is what you're saying. So
I want people to be healthy too.
Yeah, for sure, mentally, physically, emotionally, like all
spiritually.
Yes, absolutely, for sure. And that was a lot of a lot of insight and love that you just shared. And for me, I'm just at a point to where I'm just seeking some sort of consistency in the whole thing. My moral compass is on a pendulum, I guess you can say. Unfortunately, you can call me Hippocrates, you can call me whatever you want, but I don't have all the answers. I don't know everything. So there are times to where I could feel a certain way about a certain thing and feel something else by gaining some additional research. But that's just because I'm an open person, and I will always want to be open and try to understand things from all perspectives. But with this certain topic of discussion, I just really want to see some sort of consistency. What it is that our brothers and sisters, or whoever you identify as, what it is that you are seeking, what it is that you all want, how to best go about making sure that people are comfortable and that these things are being done safe, and that people are respected. Like I said, the golden rule should be most important. Treat other people the way that you want to be treated, and just leading with kindness, and just being, like I said, accepting to all. Like I said, that's on all sides. If someone doesn't want to do something that you're asking of them, fine, let that person be, and just continue on in your day and continue on in your week. Do not allow that negative moment to be amplified, I guess, in your week, because as we said, we all have negative times and negative moments in our lives, to where people treat us all without the respect that we deserve to have. So like I said, just consistency would be something that I really just want to see and learn more about, and just see some consistency and structure with what is being needed and what should be happening. That's what I'm really seeking.
That's really good. Yeah. I think as long as we in our conversations, when we talk with anybody, in our personal lives and stuff like that, leading with compassion is really important. And, personally, I have a lot of love for people that I just don't know that much about, and that's just me. And I know plenty of people that are like, that person could, I don't care about that person at all, I
don't like them.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Why? Hey, why don't you? I don't like them.
Yeah, and there's some people will just be that way forever, and some people will have their mind changed one day. You never know.
You never know.
I do want to close this out by saying that we really appreciate you guys listening to us. These are just our perspectives. These are the kind of conversations that are relevant right now, that are and they do impact us. And they, when it comes to somebody's right to do something versus their want to do something, I think that could be clarified in conversations.
Absolutely.
And there are plenty of professionals out there that have way more weighty opinions maybe than ours, but this is a real world. This is me and Ray sitting here having a conversation.
Yeah, I ain't bring my words with me today. I left my words with me at the house. I ain't bring them with me today. For sure. Yeah, it's just like you said. What's the will? What is it that you're wanting to have done, and how are you making someone do something? But as Paul continued to say, we just love and compassion is and just a real conversation is what we want to have about these difficult topics. 100%. And we'll continue to have these difficult conversations and difficult topics about different things, and we'll do them with respect.
Yeah,
with each other, 100%.
Awesome, guys. Well, thank you so much again. If you could hit the like button, hit the heart button on Spotify, subscribe to our channel, hit the ring, the bell notification, and set it to all notifications so you can see as soon as we put out an episode, you'll see it on your device, whatever you're listening to us on. We love you. We appreciate you sharing a bit of your time with us. My name's Paul. This is Ray. We're No Color Thick Skin Podcast. We'll see you in the next one, guys.
Peace. Thanks.